I want to say that for the first time in the Mount Kenya region, we have a very interesting and unique situation. Because from the situation, we foresee a situation whereby we might not have a serious presidential candidate from Mount Kenya. And I want to qualify that statement by saying that a serious candidate, because we have always had candidates, but there are some who are not serious. And in an event that we don't have a serious presidential candidate, we have to look at the candidates who are there, who have been able to work with us, those people who have been able to articulate our issues. And what we have said as the Mount Kenya people is that for the first time, we are opening the mountain to all the presidential candidates. If you feel that you want our votes, kindly come. There are no votes that have been locked, somewhere in a wardrobe to a particular individual. We want those individuals to come to our mountain and sell their agendas to us. On Monday, I had the privilege of walking and driving through the Mount Kenya region with the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. And unlike in the past, whereby he would not receive a rousing welcome and people would not even listen to him, this time round it was very interesting that people are willing to listen to him, what he has to offer for the mountain. And we have just given a clear template for the Mount Kenya people. Only two things. A person who is going to guarantee us that we are going to get our rightful representation, which means our votes, should also reflect the number of representatives that you have in the National Assembly, in the Senate, and all other organs. The second one is our fair allocation of resources. We have seen in areas, if you give what you call the monies that go to counties, the equitable share that goes to the county, you see the per capita allocation in our areas sometimes is about 3,500, but in other areas it's 22,000 shillings. We want that person who is going to assure us that if they are sent to the position of leadership, they will be able to make sure that that one happens. And it's not just word of mouth. We want to see action. If you are not supporting BBI, for example, which had actually planned to entrench the two issues that we are talking about in the mountain, then for sure, don't waste your time coming to give us stories that you will help us in this and that. So that one should guide you, the kind of people that we want to engage in the mountain. And I'm happy that the former Prime Minister has been able to work with us. He has been able to articulate those issues. He was at the forefront in fighting for our rights, despite the fact that he knew that even in some of his areas, they were not gaining. But he was fair enough to say that we want fairness, because BBI was a question of fairness. In Mount Kenya region, we have been ceding a lot of ground because we have been having the position of the president. And people believe that if you have the position of presidency, naturally, resources will come to you. So in an event that we don't have that position, then we should be guaranteed that we will have our fair share of our money and representation. So we are opening up the mountain. We are encouraging all the presidential candidates to come to our area, but be aware that if you have not been working with us, if you are against us when we were working on that formula, that in the Senate, that was to give equitable share or fair share, then don't waste your time coming to the mountain. The second thing is that we want to demystify this fallacy and lie that the former Prime Minister cannot get votes in Mount Kenya. Even before the handshake, the former Prime Minister had votes. For example, in Meru, he had 2 members of parliament on ODM ticket. He had over 100,000 votes in 2017 in Meru, for example. So in Central, as much as there are people trying to claim that they own the mountain, I want to say categorically that the mountain is up for grabs, and anybody who comes and convinces us that he has our issues at heart, we are ready to listen. And I'm impressed by the kind of maturity that was exhibited by our people. All the 10 stops that we went through, from Nanyuki to the mighty Githurai, I could see the enthusiasm, the eagerness of our people to listen to all the presidential candidates. And all what we want to beseech the presidential candidates. Kindly, let's refrain from violence. Let's talk about issues. Let's avoid these issues of insults. We have had so many insults, and especially coming from one quarter. Insults will not help you get votes. They won't. Insults will not help you ascend to the position of presidency. So for me, and I have said it, as a leader, I lead from the front. I will be making a communication as to where we will be heading, depending on how we see and how our interests will be covered. So I am happy that the former Prime Minister has also engaged us as members of Parliament. We had a breakfast in Nairobi where he said that he doesn't want followers in Mount Kenya. He wants partners. That is the kind of conversation that we want. That is the kind of discourse that we want. I am happy that now there is already a conversation of a Raila presidency in Mount Kenya. It was never even imagined by anybody that there could be a discourse, saying that Raila could be a president or whoever could be a president. I'm happy because that is the democratic right of our people to make informed choices.